Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Assassin's Creed, your number one podcast for all things Assassin's Creed. In today's episode, we are talking about the return of stealth, an aspect of Assassin's Creed that was missing from Odyssey and Origins. But in the discussion of stealth, we are not alone, which is kind of unusual for stealth. We are joined today by AC Landmark's host, Arshark, who will be helping me discuss all things stealth.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
Now imagine stealth where you're not alone. Is that really stealth? I don't know. Now I'm trying to work out. Is that really stealth? So
Sorry?
if stealth is all about being alone and sneaky, if you're not alone in stealth, are you really doing stealth?
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
a tricky question. So before we jump in, I want to say a massive shout out to Access the Animus and the ones who came before. And the reason I'm giving the shout out is a lot of this information I have collected from their sources because of some fantastic material. The ones who came before have got a brilliant article of a game director, and AC and Access the Animus have put out 3 videos lately describing new aspects of stealth.
Yep,
So
they're really good.
the first aspect of stealth is the most important one, the hidden blade. It is back.
Woohoo!
Now, I'm going to go a little controversial. I am slightly concerned with the hidden blade being back.
Why so?
Because the new Star Wars Assassin's Creed has been very RPG orientated, which is something I've seen grow since 2. But with boss battles and the ability to have an ability to one-shot bosses, how far does that pull us out of the RPG mechanics? It's like, imagine playing a Final Fantasy game and you come into a boss and you can just one-shot them instantly. It kind of ruins that aspect of it's a boss fight. It just makes a boss a normal enemy kind of
Well,
style.
I mean, you get the boss, right? But it's an Assassin's Creed game, so you'd want to assassinate them with like a one-shot kill, and I like the way Assassin's Creed does their one-shot kills, to be honest, because when there are weak enemies, the margins are very big on like the accuracy of the one shot kill, and when there's a boss, the margins are very small. So like it's it's a chance that you can assassinate them by a one shot kill, but it mainly doesn't work. Just like it didn't work with JV. I think a fellow YouTuber and friend of mine.
See, I can understand that, and I am very excited about the aspect because if you are an assassin, there is the flip side. You don't want to be doing a 10-minute boss battle of mashing buttons. If you can do really well with stealth, the reward of one-shotting a boss or taking a huge chunk is perfect for the style of assassin. But for people who like the RPG mechanics, who play games like Witcher 3 or Skyrim, maybe the idea of one-shotting bosses seems a bit too easy. So it's a bit of a mixed one, but I'm not going to complain because I love the Hidden Blade. It's
Yeah,
an iconic material for the assassins.
exactly.
Now, if we're going to be talking about the Hidden Blade, I see a lot of memes and chat about it not being hidden anymore, with it being on the wrist.
Yeah.
But I think this is a great nod to Darius, whose original Hidden Blade was a top mounted blade, which I don't think Xerxes ever saw coming, actually.
I mean, I mean, it's really cool that it's like a shout out to like Darius. Al- Although like he was in Odyssey and stuff, and in some aspects I liked Darius in AC Odyssey. It was great to see him. But I am more excited to see Eivor in like this fashion of the wrist blade, because I don't know, he's Viking, so he will just give it straight into your face, you know. He or she.
There is one other aspect of the hidden blade I want to quickly talk about for the stealth. I wonder if they're on purposely locking it to stealth side, like they did with Unity, because realistically, with how the blade is mounted, it would probably be impossible for combat, because Ezio has metal braces to deflect majority of the blows, making it a versatile weapon in combat, but Eivos is exposed, so maybe locking it to stealth is a good way to have legitimacy to the actions.
Yeah. I mean, there is the video that Leo shared. Leo K. He shared it, and what you can do with the like hidden blade is basically like knock out the enemy with it, with this like interesting animation of it. And I mean, it's pretty cool. I get that we can't use it during combat, which like kind of sucks, but uh at the end of the day, it's worth the effort that they thought about incorporating the hidden blade somehow into combat, you know.
I can understand that. So the next one I want to think about discussing is very intriguing and an upsetting one that they haven't bothered to show much about it. Is the newly introduced Feign Death system. Now, looking at the ones that came before's question about it, it seems to be a very versatile ability in the skill tree. It's not something that's a one-trick pony, as some would call it. It's something you can use anywhere to distract, alert guards, maybe freak out some pedestrians, but it seems to be an ability that the AI can monitor. So if you used it once to gain access to a building, and then you try to do it again, the AI might understand this pattern and probably try and attack you. But
That's
it
so
does,
smart.
it is, and it kind of opens the doors to stealth in a new risk and reward sort of maneuver. It's no longer you could just walk to an encampment, set off an alarm, feign death, maybe the alarm goes away, and then rinse and repeat, like a vanish ability or a smoke bomb that you can have a guaranteed chance of always escaping. This is a stealth ability that has to be strategically used, which gives Assassin's Creed Valhalla a better approach to stealth in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to use it all the time. Like uh, if 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 I was able to use it all the time, then like the game would be like boring. But like just like the ability to use feign death and fake your death, and then when they come to you, you can just like get up and just stab them in the head or something. That's like it's like a cutscene itself. It reminds me of one of those confession kills in like Unity. When you're entering the cathedral to assassinate someone in the confession, but like this is like player controlled, so you can do it at any time you want, but people will recognize that you're using it very much often, and they will catch you on it, which gives us a bit of a restraint, which I like.
And it opens a lot of old school stealth was kind of simplistic. The AI wasn't very clever with it. Whereas this approach does seem very much use it 100 times in a situation and it's not always going to work, which gives that player the ability of strategically when to feign death. And this could be so cool in missions where you need to assassinate a certain person. You could go in a cloak, walk up to them, feign death, they get panicky, and then you assassinate them. It's
Yeah.
such a cool idea.
One thing I'd like to highlight over here is that on the interview, Eric, who is one of the developers of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, he said that you can use it like i- in combat as well. So like you can feign your death in combat. And I'm just wondering, like, in like a big scale war, if you feign your death and like if you fake your death and someone comes to finish you off, like, and then you just like stab them, it's like, ah, I'm not dead, I just killed you.
And I wonder if this will tie into what Access the Animus recently highlighted, the new terror system that's coming back, where enemies can cower and flee. So if you're in a crowd of 10 enemies and you feign death, and all the enemies like, woo, we've won, and you stab an enemy from feign death, will this cause a terror mechanic, causing them to flee? Because, like, oh crap, run, sort of style. And maybe
That would be
something
cool.
maybe it's akin to what we saw in the very first trailer where bad guy had Ava by the throat, we thought he was done for, and then hidden blade to the face. That kind of gets the vibe thinking. Everyone's like, oh crap, the battle's been turned, we're gonna lose.
Yeah. Oh man, I just can't wait to use feign death like so much, and like get caught with it. uh yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this mechanic in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So, the other topic I want to bring up, a returning feature that I wasn't aware was returning until Access the Animus pointed it out, is cover assassinations is back, which doesn't seem like a big stealth thing, cover behind buildings, but in type of landmarks that England has, being English himself, and seeing a lot of the old country style walls from the Roman times, the team Roman forts, there is a lot of low bearing walls that'd be really good for covering. And the idea of just walking up to a low bearing wall and just standing there is a bit out of place. Where if there's a low bearing wall on a farmer's field, to crouch underneath it while an Anglo Saxon walks past makes perfect sense for the time, but also gives you that nostalgic feel of hiding behind a cover system in Unity to strike when possible.
Yeah, I mean that system was used all the way back in Assassin's Creed 3. As I remember, I remember Connor doing that a lot. um and it's it's been one of my favorite like assassination styles, especially like this game is bringing so much assassination styles. Cover assassination is back, haystack assassination is back. um I think like this feigned death is a new mechanic that is introduced, and like it's just, I feel like, yeah, we are restricted with our hidden blade during combat, but we are not restricted in like stealthy uh in like encounters at all.
And to me, it screams, and I'm probably going to get pitchforks for this, but it seems like Assassin's Creed has finally hit that perfect balance between RPG and old school mechanics. Origins was a right step in the direction. The way we could upgrade a hidden blade to make it more versatile seemed realistic. Maybe when you first used it, the mechanics were off. The blade was a bit dull, so when you stabbed someone, it didn't one shot. But as you got more materials, you'd fix the blade, you'd sharpen it, and it become more lethal. That system played logic in my mind. And then Odyssey kind of did a different approach, whereas Valhalla's like, well, hang on a minute, let's take Origins and the old systems, mash them together, and what do we get? A game with really deep stealth mechanics from old school, but enough to make it new and fresh again, which
Yeah,
is a fantastic opportunity for old and new fans.
and I really really hope there's like a trailer, like a 10-minute or a 12-minute trailer on just the stealth of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like I really really want them to like market this game's stealth, uh because like from what from what I'm seeing from like gameplays, it's very it can even it it can either go very combat and like Viking style, or it can go an assassin style. Like you can choose uh which path to go, but like I want to play like an assassin, as the hashtag goes.
Well, if we want to play like assassin, I've saved the best stealth feature to last, and it's a stealth feature that we can't all deny is brilliant to be back, and that is social stealth is back. This is the
Yes.
fundamental basis of all AC stealth, but I'm thankful that they haven't copied the original social stealth. As an old school fan, I do love the original social stealth, but I want to see it evolve in a new capacity. And so far, the information I know for Valhalla stealth is we can blend in with the environment. I've seen demos of if a bakery station is open, we can knead bread, so we're blending into the situation. We can blend in with monks, or we can sit at a table and drink. To me,
Yep.
this is very integrating, and you can put the hood up all the time. And this just takes the original social stealth and adds it into a more realistic way. We're not just going to be hiding in monks. We're not just going to be paying dancers to come with us. We're going to sit with the crowd again. We're going to cook on a station. Joe Raptor mentioned something about in one of the trailers you could pay a beggar. Now, we don't know much about this, but maybe you can pay the beggar so it looks like you're just a normal person helping someone out. Maybe you can give him a good bit of gold to walk away and you take his place. So they will walk past it, oh, it's just a beggar. But no, you're just blending in.
Yeah, you can also distract the guards with drunkards, um and just either assassinate them or go into your target location. Like, that's an option too, and I feel like the drunkards are the new courtesans.
That'd be kind of cool. Get them all drunk and just send them off.
Yeah, it's like the guards will get distracted by the drunkards, and Avor is just gonna like scoop in and do their thing and get out.
I think the biggest thing as well that I'm very curious about isn't what's coming back, is more how will this all work together? Because there's no point having all these stealth mechanics if they're not going to work together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of stealth mechanics in the game. Um, I I feel like they will work together, but it's based on the player's kind of way of gaming, because it is a Viking game and it is an assassin game. So uh, it's your choice of how you want to go about raiding England.
Well, there is one last question I would like to propose, and I hope that somebody in Ubisoft can hear me and answer the question. There was a lot of talk about your raiding party that comes with you, and apparently Vikings would share stories as well. So, my biggest question to Ubisoft and to anyone on Valhalla team, if we choose a proper heavily stealth oriented playthrough, could this affect our raiding party? Could our raiding party become more stealthy? Or is it just going to be no knock on effect where it's just going to be us stealthing and our raiding party is just going to barge in and kill everyone for us?
Hmm. That's a very good question. Uh, Like, I don't know if the AI is that smart.
Uh, We say the AI might not be very smart, but we are talking about a studio that has created 10,000 individual AI codes for Unity. It's a complete fact that in one of the largest crowds there is 10,000 NPCs each with an individual single line of code. We know in Legion, Watch Dogs Legion, every NPC can become a playable character. That is some insane AI architecture right there.
Yeah.
We, Darby and has gone on record at the very start saying how much different types of enemies you'll encounter, and after 50 hours you may encounter new enemies.
I think there are
Jar
28 of them.
28, that's quite a lot.
I think. Don't quote me on it, but I remember watching Access the Animus video on it.
Jaw Raptor, a very old episode, discussed something about how the enemies can work together, so throw sand in Avor's eyes, jump off a shield, work together. And if the terror system's coming back, we've already got a fundamental basis of a really strong AI code. The AI seems very smart so far. So I just know when you have AI companions such as Ghost Recon and games as such, they sometimes become too meat shieldy, or basically they'll rush in and do everything for you. So if you're trying to go for a stealth approach and they're raiding and they don't follow stealth, how will that affect your stealth approach? If you're trying to get to a boss super stealthy while all this battle chaos is on and they're just rushing and burning everything, it's going to possibly distract the boss and make the boss less likely to be stealthed upon.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, when I checked out the gameplay for when Rued was gonna die by Evor's blade, um, I I saw that you can either like he was just waiting for you, and you can either go on like the building and just jump on him in like a stealthy way, or you can just face him straight forward. Um, while the while the raiding and like the war was happening, like the battle was happening. So I feel like what what that would what that would be like is like a mix of the two, but I'm not pretty sure. The if a Ubisoft developer can add on this, it, it'll be great. It's a good question to ask on Twitter.
I might pose it because we know by playing games like Ghost Recon, they have the power to make AI companions follow stealth. In Ghost Recon's Wildlands, the only one I've played, you can set up sync shots, your party will stay stealth. And I would love to see an approach where if we've got enough of the power abilities in stealth, that when we get to a monastery or something to raid, instead of blowing the horn to raid, would there be an option to try and stealth the raid, and the raiding party would also try and stealth? Because there is a possibility of AI enemies ambushing you from a gameplay point of view, so why can't our raiding parties do something similar?
Yeah,
I have
I
lots
hope
of
it is
questions.
that way. To be honest, I hope it is that way, because that would be super cool. Like to choose your way of like confrontation. You can either do it the assassin way, or you can do it the Viking way.
And I can understand in some full scale battles, Viking Way is going to be the only possibility with battering ram, stuff like that. I just think playing games with AI companions in the past, I understand that AI companions can become a bit of a problem. I played Dragon Dogma recently, where you can have a party of three, and in games like that, sometimes you're trying to sneak past enemies, and they'll just full on target enemies. So if you're just trying not to draw too much attention to yourself in a raid, and suddenly your party's dragging everyone to you, and you've run out of rations, that's going to make gameplay quite frustrating after a while. If you've spent all your time building a stealth only assassin over melee combat, then doing a raid is not going to be the best way doing melee combat.
Yeah,
I have a
It's
lot of wild ideas.
dude, yeah, you run with wild ideas. Like you should basically uh like pose all these questions and just like spam them on developers.
You know, I don't think Darby likes me anymore. I've already asked Darby too many
Darby likes
questions.
everyone, huh?
I've asked him too many questions. I've asked him who was canon, which we all found out that is both. Fantastic. I asked him about my two fan theories, and the only response I got is somebody has a close theory on Valhalla, but I'm not going to say who. Great, could be anyone.
Oh yay!
Um, I also asked if there's going to be any connection to the Last Descendants novel, because I know that is set about 100 years later with Harold Bluetooth, but could we get a connection with how the Fear Prong got into Harold Bluetooth's hands? Or some ancestry line? No response.
Oh, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, maybe I've hit something. Maybe like, oh crud.
It's
Because
okay. Uh, it's like uh Darby is amazing in like answering questions. So I feel like it, if it's gonna spoil the game, he won't answer it.
well, there we have it, folks. I may have hit the head on the Last Descendants novel. Something's coming in Valhalla.
Not confirmed.
Not confirmed, but all I can say is Odin's Sight was originally talked about in The Last Descendants' last novel, Fate of Gods, which is a Viking based memory system. There was Harold Bluetooth and a fear prong that got into his hands. If we do not have a connection in Valhalla, I will be confused because we have Odin's Sight, and Odin's Sight only existed because of Lost Descendants.
Odin's site, yeah.
The-
Odin's site looks so cool.
I know, I like
Like
it.
like it's not just a generic like scan. It's like this cool awesome scan that uh like flashes your screen, and I'm like, damn, Odin's
it's
site be ruling.
it's meant to be a connection between original Eagle Vision and the Animus Pulse. Now, the Animus Pulse was a bit hit and miss at times, I will admit, but the original Eagle Vision sometimes was fun, but if you forgot to turn it off, kind of got annoying, and if you suddenly moved, it would shut itself off anyways, which kind of made it hard if you're trying to plan your targets. So having a pulse style system kind of negates the issue of holding it down forever.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, I can't wait to overuse the Odin site.
Never can I. So sadly, this is all we have time for tonight. But there is more in store. Ow, shoulders. So, next week's episode, I will be announcing on Tuesday. But if you would like a sneak preview of what's coming next week and the possibility of hearing the episode 3 days early, you can check out my new Patreon link in the description. I will be putting a unique poll for you on Wednesday, and early access for next week's episode will be on Thursday evening. So you can catch next week's episode 3 days early, and on Monday, a sneak preview of what's to come.
Exciting. I'm
It,
really glad that you're making a Patreon for it.
it took me too long. It took me 2 days to fix Patreon, people.
Awesome.
2 days to work it out because I spelt my email wrong.
Yeah. It worked out in the end.
It did. So, big thank you for joining us today, buddy, and hopefully we can work together in the future.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome. So, catch you all next time, guys.
Alrighty. Bye.